Well, hello there and welcome to the channel, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about those plants that you should never be cutting, pruning, trimming in March. I'm going to break it down into 4 easy categories to make things simple. The first is going to be those plants which, if you remove wood from them at this time of year, then you're going to be removing the parts of the wood that produces the flowers for this year's flowers display. The second group is going to be those plants which are going to be at risk from picking up fungal infections quite easily at this time of year because of the humidity, the wetness, the coldness, the proliferance of fungal spores that start to pop out this time of year. The third category is bulbs. That'd be a very quick one. And the fourth category, you could argue that this is one of the most important, because if you get caught messing about with these plants, then you could end up with either an unlimited fine or a 6-month prison sentence. So you have been warned. So let's get to it. Let's get ever so noisy. I think it's because we're so popular around here. Hold on a minute. I think that was Elon Musk popping over to find out why his cars aren't selling anymore. Anyway, it'll get better, I'm sure. So let's get to it. Let's get started with
plants you should never prune in March.
Thank you, posh voiceover man.
Category 1.
I'll try and keep this first group as simple as I can. It's pretty much all those plants that will flower on last year's wood. So if you're cutting last year's wood this year, then you're removing all the parts of the plant which will produce its buds, usually on the April tips. So some of these plants are going to be quite obvious that they're about to come into flower, so we're not too worried about those, although I'll quickly run through them. And then there'll be some that are less obvious, which so you come out in March, it's a lovely day, you want to tidy up, you'll be pruning left, right and centre, you'll be ruining everything. So less obvious ones will be like your early flowering clematis. Do not cut those. You can cut your late summer flowering clematis, but your early flowering ones, definitely not. So you might need to check the variety that you've got. You wouldn't cut back Vigilia at the moment, and they're not that obvious about what you're looking at. You wouldn't cut back any of your honeysuckle climbing plants, although there is one honeysuckle that you would cut, which is your winter flowering one, Lonicera fragrantissima. I'm not a big fan of that one, I don't like it. Camellias should be pretty obvious that they're about to come into bloom because they've got massive buds on there right now. Oak-leaved hydrangea, do not cut that. Again, previous seasons would. Choice shears, your Mexican orange blossom, that should be showing clear bud now, but again, you don't cut that, although it could be, the plant may look messy from last year, but just resist the temptation to cut it until after flowering. What else is there? Oh yes, rhododendrons, they should be pretty obvious with those big flowering buds. Azaleas, less so, because they tend to have very small buds in the apex. Magnolias, again, pretty obvious. Although while they're quite small, the new flowering buds do look a lot like the leaf buds when they're small, so again, don't cut those this time of year. And probably the biggest mistake that people make when cutting back plants at the wrong time of year is going to be your Philadelphus, because let's be honest with you, at this time of year it just looks like a bunch of scraggly sticks. So it's looking at you, daring you to cut it, and most people do. But if you cut those, no flowers. And let's be honest with you, some of the blooms in these Philadelphias are absolutely beautiful. Anyway, that is group 1.
Category 2.
Group 2 is going to be fruiting trees from the Prunus genus. So that's going to be cherries, plums, gages, apricots, nectarines. Now all of these are a high risk of getting 2 illnesses at this time of year. Silverleaf, which is a fungus and bacterial canker. So you never cut this time of year when the weather is damp and these fungal spores are everywhere. You cut those when it's very, very dry in the height of summer. So avoid rain. Don't cut them in March or at any other time outside of that. So that's quite easy. And I'm going to throw another one in there, and you might think this is a bit left field. I'm going to include roses. Now, the Victorians, they had a saying about cutting your roses to the 3rd outward facing bud in the 3rd week of the 3rd month. So that is March. But let's be honest with you, it's damp. Fungal spores are being lifted through rainfall. They hit the leaves and bounce up and they'll get infected, and everyone wonders why their roses are absolutely ridden with mildew, black spot, botrytis, and it's because of the time of year that we cut them. But it's the best time of year to cut them, so you can mitigate it by clearing away leaf litter that's fallen on the floor. You can mitigate it further by adding a thick mulch, which will stop the mold, these spores, from bouncing off the ground. But really, I haven't really got a great answer for you. Yeah, you can either just spray them a lot to keep these fungal infections at bay, or rather more simply, buy disease resistant roses. And you all know I'm a big fan of roses. Oh, flipping 8 roses.
Category 3, bulbs.
Yes, bulbs. This time of year, you're starting to get them all in flower. The crocuses are probably finished by now. Your snowdrops are in full flower, as well as your leucogens, which are your snowflakes. Don't get the two confused. Daffodils are in full flower, and tulips are about to come into flower. So what do you do when they finish flowering? Well, a lot of people cut back the foliage to keep it tidy, especially those of you who had the crazy idea of putting daffodils in your lawn. Such a terrible idea. Yes, it looks nice when it comes into flower, but the thing is, in order to get a good display the following year, you need to allow the foliage to die back naturally. That way all the starches, the sugars, the carbohydrates that are in the leaves get drawn back into the bulb. It builds up the bulb full of energy, so that come next year you get a really good display. So what you end up with is all these old knackered leaves falling over and broken, and you have a little patch of tufty grass around the outside because your wife's told you not to cut the leaves off, and it all looks an absolute mess. So firstly, don't plant daffodils in your lawn. I know it looks pretty to start off with, but I don't think it's worth the downside of just leaving these horrible patches lying about. That's just my opinion. You can disagree if you want to. You can put that in the comments. But the thing is, with bulbs, it's always best for them to allow them to die back naturally in order to secure the energy for next year. Don't cut the leaves off, which will be March. Now, if you are finding the information in this video useful, or perhaps just mildly amusing and you'd like to pass it on, then by all means press the like button. It supports this channel immensely and helps us do what we do. Don't forget, you can also click onto the subscription button. Subscription is absolutely free, and you can unsubscribe at any time. It doesn't cost you anything, and if you want to be notified whenever we publish a new video, then all you need to do is click on that notification bell. Anyway, let's continue to find out what old Boilbelt has to say.
Category 4, breaking the law.
Yes, the Wildlife and Countryside Act of 1981 makes it illegal for anyone to disturb the nests of nesting birds and their eggs, and if you're caught doing such a thing, you can face an unlimited fine or a prison sentence of up to 6 months. And the reason why this is important is because people like to keep their hedges cut nicely. So if you've got a hedge and you have nesting birds in it, then the advice from the RSPB, that's the Royal Society of the Protection of Birds, is to not cut, and they advise you to not cut from the 1st of March to the end of August. So that means don't cut your hedges. Now, it's not illegal to cut your hedges. You won't get fined just for cutting the hedge, but if you haven't done your due diligence first and checked the hedge for nesting birds, then you could get yourself in a little bit of trouble, especially if you have neighbours who don't like you and are keeping an eye out to stitch you up. So there you go. That's the 4th group of plants. It's hedging plants. And there you go. That is my 4 plants or groups of plants which you should never cut, trim, prune in March. And if you've got anything you'd like to add, I'll be honest with you. Old Monty Don, he says do not cut back your evergreen grasses, and he puts forward stiper, which all you really need to do it this year because they're so soft and fluffy. Just put your hand in and pull out all the old thatch from previous year. And Cortaderia, which is your pampas grass, one of Alan Titchmarsh's most hated plants in the planet. Oh, he's a good lad, old Alan one titch moss. But Cortaderia, you do tend to prune. Well, you don't sort of cut it back down. I do like to cut the sides off, and I will do that in the spring. So whether or not Cortaderia should be on the list, we can agree to disagree. But if there's any other ones that you want to list which I haven't listed, then you're more than welcome to put that in the comments. We would love to hear from you. Anyway, thank you for watching, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. Right, now, just before you go, if you want to see more content, more behind the scenes stuff, and images that I've taken of some weird freaky plants over the years, then you're in luck, because we've created an Instagram page. So you can find the link in our description, you can find the link on our main page, and if I'm clever enough I might be able to get a link somewhere up there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to see more YouTube stuff, then check out this video here. That's got a good one. And if it doesn't float your boat, then another one right there. And enjoy these while I've still got the strength, imagination and aptitude to make them. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.